What's your biggest success story, if you could think of one, for a client or an investor that you've worked with?
There's a few. So there's one company, F1 Couriers. You know what I mean? They started off in November with like maybe 2 trucks. It's 3 partners. It's Shafiq, his name is Muhammad Gregory, Isan Noble, Razak. They're like brothers to me, and I love them a lot. And they were able to scale their company from like 1 truck to like, now I think they have about 30 or 40, something like that. And that was it was like in a year.
What are they doing? What's their niche?
So, I mean, I don't know if I you
ain't got to tell me everything, but you know,
yeah, they
just to get an idea of how they were able to scale that much, because they must have they must be doing something that there's a high demand, obviously, to scale like that fast.
Well, they're well respected,
or they diversified. Like, what are they doing?
They're well respected in the community, and also they have the right contacts. You know what I mean? They've been around for a while. They've also been in other industries, so they're trying to bring their other people together and bring them in here under the F1 Courier umbrella and trying to grow it out like that.
Got you. Do they have trailers too?
Trailers, everything, yeah. They got UAIR certifications. They're doing good. They're doing good. Another one of my guys, he's actually a police officer from Patterson. His name is Jensen Burgos. I helped him start off One Stop Trucking. And I think he has about like, this was early last year, and he was doing cargo vans, and he wasn't making that much money in cargo vans, so I got him into this. And he started off with like 1 truck, and I think now he has like 6.
Okay.
And his numbers are consistently high. Like each truck, we do about 9,000 to 10,000 a week at least.
Got you. And so you're still doing the dispatching for F1, and you're doing it for this gentleman, One Stop.
Yeah, everybody.
You're working with all of them.
Yeah.
So all together, you're doing like about, would you say like 80 trucks? Actually units now?
Yeah, units about 80. I think about between 70 to 80 on and off.
Got you. So what's your role? Because you said you've actually like allocated a lot of the dispatching to. So what do you kind of do on a day-to-day basis? How are you recruiting more people? What are you doing actively on a regular basis?
So I'm learning to kind of trust my team more, and I'm learning to let them handle more of the stuff and get used to it while I oversee them, so I can focus on expansion. Like this year, we want to add 10 of our own trucks.
Okay.
And we don't want no one investing. We don't want to finance, nothing that. We want to buy that from the capital that we raise from you consulting. So that's the next step to take us from making $100,000 a month to $1 million a month. We want to start our brokerage. We want to start our technology company. We also have our courses coming out. They were supposed to be out last year of November, but there's a delay because me and my team that we've been working on it with, I feel as though that the courses that are out there right now, and we've seen a few of them, we want to bring something better. You know what I mean? If it has my name and my brand, I don't want it to be nothing copy pasted. I want it to be a real experience where people could actually learn. So those are coming out March 19th. So we have a few big things that we're also doing here at U Consulting to expand the brand out further.
Got you. You said you want to do something better with the courses and add more value. What are some of the things that you think that you'll do differently than what you've seen out there?
So a lot of the information, it's cold cut. You know what I mean? A lot of this stuff to a beginner is tough to understand, especially if you don't have like set examples or videos and stuff. One of the things that I'm also doing different is I'm going to put examples of videos, like certain things that could go wrong and how to resolve them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So for instance, let's say a driver has an issue with his with the truck, right? And you're on a load. You can't cancel on the broker, but how would you go about talking to the broker? You know what I mean? Like, what would you do? You know what I mean? Because if you cancel on the broker and it's last minute, they'll give you a freight guard. And a normal dispatcher, you might just email something back, but they might not want to hear that. You have to get the receipts. You know what I mean? Or even if something doesn't happen and something's going on with the truck or the driver has an emergency or something, those type of situations are stuff that these dispatch courses don't train them for. You know what I mean? For them to get out of that, troubleshooting. You know what I mean? So for them to get out of a certain situation that's not on these courses, you know?
So what would you do in that situation?
I'd be fully transparent with the broker. I'd be fully transparent. I would get the receipts. I would send them over to the brokers. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like, for instance, you know, if you want to try to find a lane for your drivers or like your dispatching or whatever, you got to understand their time. You know what I mean? That's one of the things that people are not doing in these courses as well. They're not explaining to them how to like really get these guys and find out their times and stuff like that. And it's just like all verbiage. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more to this business than just verbiage, you know? You have to understand and actually see and feel what these drivers have to go through every day. You know what I mean? Where they're going, what are high traffic areas, what are low traffic areas, what heavy weight versus low weight means, you know what I mean, for the fuel and for the truck and the trailer. So there's a lot of moving parts. And I don't even think that even my dispatch course or any dispatch course out there can fully cover it, because it's just like I was telling you earlier. You know, you could take residencies all day trying to be a doctor, but you won't actually learn anything until you actually operate.
Right.
So I also want to incorporate people and give them some of my strategies on how I got trucks and how I was able to dispatch them and stuff. So not only are they investing into my course, but they're also going to be investing into themselves, because they'll learn the strategies that I use to help get new people into this business. Maybe that's what they want to try to do, or get an investor. Like I told you earlier, if I was in a certain situation as a dispatcher or as a driver, what I would do, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I want them to understand these strategies and actually try to make money off of this, and not just buy someone's course and not get nothing out of it.
Right. For the drivers now, I mean, obviously everybody's talking about the driver shortage. How are you guys and your investors doing with recruiting drivers? And what are some of the strategies that you guys are using to recruit drivers?
So the driver shortage and lack of drivers, we've always had that issue in this industry. We've always had a problem getting proper drivers, but also a part of the when I was telling you earlier that I want the drivers to be comfortable in the routing, when we try to talk to these drivers, when we try to interview them, we give them options. You know what I mean? We give them options. We also pay them top dollars, because these aren't like trucking businesses that have been around for years. These are new businesses. These are startups, and they are willing to pay more to get the right driver, and they're willing to be more understanding with the driver. So it's a team effort. Drivers happy, owners happy, we're happy. And I push for the drivers to get a better cut also, because they deserve it. You know what I mean? They're the ones out there actually risking themselves versus me or the owner or anybody else, you know?
Right. What do you find is the best way to compensate drivers for their work?
I would say either percentage or put them on a salary daily. You know what I mean? Either percentage of what they do, that'll motivate them because they'll be commission based. If not, if they're doing like a set route and it's dedicated or something, then I would say salary. But it would all depend on the work. Do they have to assist? Do they have to put their hands on something? Is it no touch? Is it like a certain amount of miles? How, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a few different factors, but the two that I prefer is either salary or percentage. It keeps things a lot easier and more simpler. I know people like getting paid by the miles, but my whole strategy with dispatching also, it's not about more miles. It's about more money, less miles. I try to do 1-day transits. I don't try to do 2-3 day transits, 4 or 5 days, none of that. Because with 1-day transits, you can make more money on the mile than you can with 2-day transits. If I was to send a guy from Georgia to Jersey, I'd probably get like $1,500, $1,600, $1,700. But let's say I send him from Georgia to North Carolina or Georgia to Tennessee, I'm making $1,000, $1,200, maybe $1,300. And then from Tennessee to Jersey, you'll get a banging rate, probably make like $2,000. So you're making, and then let's say from North Carolina to Jersey, probably make like $1,500, $1,600, maybe $1,800. So if just by breaking it out down in the middle, and now you could even take it a step further, break it down from North Carolina to Maryland, or North Carolina to Ohio, or PA, you know what I mean? Somewhere in the middle again, and then bring them back to Jersey. So for about the same amount of miles that you were gonna do $1,500, $1,600 for, you can end up making $3,000 for. And that's the margin which the owners save.
What's the difference between those lanes? Why are you getting better rates?
Because the brokers will pay you better if you're doing lesser miles versus if you're doing more miles. So let's say you're taking a load from Georgia to Jersey, they're paying you for one pick, one drop, and they'll prorate it out because you're going straight from one place to the next. And that's just how the market always works. But now if you break it in the middle and do 1-day transits, you probably make like maybe 2 times the money.
If you twisted, confused, or stuck about trucks, Don't be dumb. This is the place to come. Truck and hustle. Let's go.